I was born in 1957 and grew up in a small town in Michigan. My dad worked at a copper mine, and my mom was a homemaker. We always had food on the table, a car to drive, and a clean house to live in. In 4th grade, I got my first new bicycle for a Christmas present. My mom suggested that I share my bicycle with my neighbor Jack because Jack did not have a bicycle. So when spring came, Jack, who was much stronger than I was, would pedal the bicycle to school while I sat on the handlebars. I grew up in a family and a culture where we helped those around us, but we were taught to never ask anyone for help. I guess you could sum up my upbringing as work hard, don't be a burden on others, and be a blessing to those that need. I went to college in 1975. I met a nice girl at college in 1978, and she wanted to find out more about me. One day, she mentioned that she went to church every Sunday. During college, I did not search for a local church to attend, and I told her that. Then she said she likes to give to missions. Now, I did not know what missions was, but I promptly replied to her, I like to give to missions also. I guess that answer was correct as we got married a year later in 1979. I got a job working at a city police department developing records databases and retired from there 21 years later in the year 2000. My wife and I tithed 10% of every paycheck, and we gave offerings to missions on top of that. I wanted to do more for our growing family and for missions. So in 1990, my wife and I started the business of storing boxes of records and shredding confidential records. Our first customer had 384 boxes of records. 18 years later, we were storing over 250,000 boxes and shredding 300,000 pounds of records each month. For many years, my typical routine was to work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the police department, come home for dinner and bedtime for our 4 children, and then go to the warehouse for several hours of work. Proverbs 14:23 says, In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads only to poverty. One day, I was thinking about the business growing and giving more to missions when the thought came to me. My plan was to grow the business first so that it would gross $1 million per year. Then, we would grow the business so that it would net $1 million per year. Finally, we would grow the business so that we could give $1 million per year to missions. It seemed like a simple, logical plan that God brought to me. Gross, net, give $1 million. Proverbs 16:3 says, Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. God continued to bless the business, and we continued to be faithful in giving more to missions. For many years, we were able to double the amount given. In 1999, we were able to give $8,000 to missions. In 2000, $16,000 was given, then $32,000, then $64,000, then $128,000, then $256,000, then $500,000. When we sold the business in March 2008, we were able to give over $1,300,000 to our church and to missions. Proverbs 13:11 says, Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished. He who gathers by labor will increase. The profit from the sale of the business was passed to a private foundation where even today, the foundation can provide money for good works. If your faith is genuine, you should be zealous in doing good works. Over the years, Bible schools have been built, orphanages have been renovated, egg chicken farms have been built, food delivered to church food pantries, missionaries are supported in countries, discipleship video messages are created in many languages, churches developed in Turkey, India, Bhutan, Bangladesh, sewing center for orphan girls in Pakistan. In Psalms, there are 71 verses that end with the word Selah. Some believe the word Selah means to praise or lift up, while some believe it was simply an instruction to the choir director to pause. A good meaning of the word Selah for me is to pause, look around, reflect on what I see. Do you pause, look around, and see the poor amongst us? Do you see the struggling widows? Do you see the lonely orphans? Do you see those whose hearts are hurting from divorce, or those who have lost a loved one? How about those who need assurance that their sins can be forgiven through the blood that was shed on the cross by Jesus? So I ask myself this question often: what is our duty as a steward of the money, time, and possessions we have been blessed with? After Selah, I believe our duty is to share what we have. Sharing is a necessary ingredient in life for all of us. It doesn't matter how little or how much you have. If you don't share what you have been given, you may end up living a lonely life. I don't know if God has given me one more day to live, one more month, or 30 years. All I know is that when I leave this world, sharing is what I want as part of my legacy.